everybody. Welcome to our Friday Roundtable, Voices from the Edge. So in our roundtable today, we have August, Katie, Maureen, Mo, Keisha, Marley, and last but not least, Andrea. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Hey, Jazzy.
Hey, Jazzy.
Welcome.
Hey, Jazzy.
Yeah, thanks for everybody who's joining us in the chat. Talk to us because we love to talk to you. So another crazy week in the United States of America. Everybody holding up okay?
And rough.
Yeah.
The silence speaks.
I got good therapy going on. I'm good.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, we need some good therapy.
Yes.
All right,
ma'am.
so today, kind of the theme is America on the Edge. And specifically, what we want to do is talk about what's happening with our First Amendment rights. I know that's been a big topic. So, as usual, what we want to do is educate a little bit within our discussions. In that, we're going to talk about some of the impact from Jimmy Kimmel, not just on him personally, but also his team. And so Katie, we're going to have Katie talk to us about that. And Mo's going to talk to us about the hypocrisy of Fox News, which is always a fun topic, and their attack on the homeless. Keisha's going to come in and talk to us a little about secession. That'll be an interesting conversation. So we're all eager to hear about that. Maureen's going to jump in with some updates on the CDC and COVID vaccine. Right, Maureen?
Right.
And then Andrea is going to give us some inspiration from MLK. And then, of course, in there somewhere, we have a couple of WTFs and a couple of truth bombs today. So it'll be fun. You guys ready to get started?
Yep.
All right.
Oh,
So, does anybody actually, Constitution of the United States, okay, actually know what the First Amendment actually really says? So, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. A little formal, right? So let's talk about what that really means. Let's walk through it. So first, the government is prohibited from creating a state religion or stopping people from practicing their faith. Clearly, the Christian nationalists didn't read the First Amendment. On speech, the government is prohibited from limiting what people say. The government, keep that in mind, the government is prohibited from censoring the press. The government is prohibited from stopping peaceful gatherings, and the government is prohibited from blocking people who want to complain or seek change from the government. So my question to the panel, before we go to our favorite Heather Cox Richardson, who's going to go into more detail about the First Amendment, anything in that surprise you at all? First of all, no. Everybody's
No.
pretty clear, right? Not a lot of people are clear about what it means. What about the First Amendment, what it actually means. So let me share the screen, and we will go to Miss Heather Cox Richardson. All right. Let me take my ears out. All right, where'd it go? There it is. All right, here we go.
me what free speech constitutes in the United States of America? And that's a really good question, because the Constitution protects Americans' free speech. But what does that mean? It actually protects free speech, not in the Constitution, the first part of the Constitution, the part that was signed, not ratified, but signed on September 17th, when they wrote the Constitution, but in the first of the 10 amendments to the Constitution, which are what we know as the Bill of Rights. And the first of those is the First Amendment. And you hear people, which seems like a no-brainer, I meant that differently than it came out, but that people often refer to, because it's the First Amendment that protects freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and the right to petition the government. Because remember, the King of England, King George III, refused to accept the olive branch petition. He refused to let it be delivered, and that was a really big deal in the United States, both at the beginning and then in the 1830s and the 1840s. That's a different story I won't go into now. But we do have the right to ask our government things. They don't have to say yes, but we have the right to ask. So what does that mean? One of the things that a lot of people get confused about with the Bill of Rights is, especially in the modern era, often people look at what's in the Bill of Rights and think that those rights were designed to protect individual's right, that is a person's right. But in fact, they weren't. If you read them and you look at them, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, hold back the government. They say the government can't do these things. It doesn't say that you have that right. It says the government does not have that right. So when I think of the Bill of Rights, that's literally how I think about it. I think about it pushing back and holding back the government, which is why Antonin Scalia's decision, Heller decision in 2008 was such a major change, when it actually looked at the Second Amendment and said that gives an individual a right. That's not how people have ever understood those first 10 amendments. All right, so to go back to the freedom of the press, the First Amendment prohibits the government from messing around with your religious rights, the free press, the right to speech, free speech, the right to assemble, or the right to petition the government. So often people think that the freedom of speech gives you the right to say anything you want in any context, because we have that, and it doesn't. What the freedom of speech does is it says the government can't silence you. You know, other people can silence you. You can't, you know, there are many situations in which you can't express yourself the way you might want to in a different setting. That's different than what's covered by the First Amendment. And there's been a whole bunch of laws and court cases since then defining what can be stopped and what can't be stopped. But free speech, as is protected under the First Amendment, says the government can't stop you from speaking. But other people can. And that, you know, I get that every single day. People saying, you have no right to shut me up. I'm allowed to say anything I want. It's like, actually, no, I'm not a member of the government. So I don't have to listen to what you're throwing at me. If I were an elected official, I couldn't do that. But which is interesting. Well, that's a rabbit hole.
Okay. So I think she made that clear. The government, right?
This makes me think of the clip that I just put up about how America's students' scores in civics are really low. And I think you could probably say the same about a lot of adults just don't understand the Constitution and what it means. And it's really sad that you don't understand the rights that are and are not afforded to you under the Constitution.
The thing that scares me is you mentioned that Linda McMahon just announced like she's getting, Moms for Liberty, the Heritage Foundation, and Turning Point in charge of the civics education of the country. So if we think we don't understand it now, just wait. Like the...
No, exactly. And all the Christian nationalists, what they're trying to do is force one religion over the whole country, which goes against the First Amendment, clearly. Anybody else? So obviously this was brought up because of what happened to not just Jimmy Kimmel is one of many we've seen, right? Over the course of the last, we had Colbert, we have the attacks on NPR and PBS. So we have this FCC chair who is obviously part of the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025, which we'll talk about in a minute. But this one with Jimmy Kimmel has really hit a nerve. So has everybody seen what he actually said? Okay,
Yeah.
so let's show our viewers what he actually said and see if this is, let me unshare this and pull it out. All right, let me stop sharing, pull this back up.
Well, you find that I was just thinking
Thank
about
you.
how they're always saying to people like me and immigrants, go back to where you came from if you hate it here so much. If you hate the Constitution, go elsewhere. Instead of trying to force us to live under your demented rule of law,
Right.
get the fuck out. Go elsewhere.
Thank you. I agree.
That's what I'm saying. And Keisha, where are Black folks supposed to go back to?
Exactly.
Where are we supposed to go back to? I did my DNA thing, and well, I guess I got about 17 different places I could go back to. But I'm just saying, it's like, where do they want us to go back to?
All right. I agree. I mean, that counts for a lot of people, right?
Yeah, I agree too. Lots of different places. Yeah.
Yeah. Where are the Native Americans supposed to go back to?
Yeah.
So
The Native Americans need to kick us all out.
Right?
And they have the right to. All right,
Yes.
so let's listen, and then we'll talk about it.
New lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from.
Here's everything you need to know about the off-key monologue that got Jimmy Kimmel's show pulled indefinitely. The controversy began during Monday's show.
Pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition.
It was funny.
That's a good joke, yeah.
This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
And
It was funny. I'm not kidding.
Funny. That's true.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
He know Donald Trump a dumbass.
I've seen a couple different responses too, where it's like, wow, he must really see him as a son because he just doesn't care.
Okay.
Oh, that would have been
That's
a good one.
one.
That was a good one.
Mhm.
Better
So
watch
let's,
out. You're going to get put off this show.
But he was so right about the 4-year-old thing, right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember when my daughter was in kindergarten and literally her goldfish died, she insisted upon us having a service and everything for the goldfish. And then she was like, okay, Mom, can I go next door and play with Shaban? Go ahead, baby. You go right ahead.
Oh my God.
But the thing you have to realize too is like nothing he said in any of that was anything.
No.
That's
Like-
right, Jazzy. Donald Trump didn't even answer the question. He went straight to the ballroom.
Well, and here's the thing, and they're gaslighting the public. They're saying that he lied. at the time that he did the monologue, we knew nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So he
think it was
actually told the
Monday.
truth. He said they've been going nonstop trying to convince us it's not one of theirs.
Mhm.
And that was before we knew anything about the young man. And we
But-
still, there's a lot that we still
Yeah.
don't know. And quite frankly, I don't believe anything that's coming from the FBI. I don't believe any of it.
Oh, no.
Oh, absolutely. And like, well,
See?
even the second it happened, they immediately started blaming Democrats and liberals and everything. There was no evidence of
Transgender.
anything, and they immediately went there.
Yeah. So he never lied.
Nope.
It's Donald Trump, and he can't take a joke.
Yeah,
He was
made that
making fun of Donald Trump, not Charlie Kirk and his death. He was making fun of Donald Trump's reaction to it.
Right, exactly. And so let's take a look at some of the reactions to Kimmel's show being yanked off the air.
Yeah.
So Disney's ABC pulling Kimmel's late night talk show off the air is not the last shoe to drop, which this is from the FCC chair. So, and we've heard Trump say this, right?
He's
After
flat out,
Colbert.
yeah, he said Kimmel is next.
Kimmel, and then
Fallon,
what's his name?
Seth Meyers.
Fallon.
Mhm,
and-
Fallon.
yeah, and we'll talk about this. So
And they want them to pull Stephen Colbert now.
well,
You mean
so
just like-
here's go ahead. I'm sorry.
You mean just like pull it immediately?
Yeah, they want
Yeah.
him to pull a
Oh,
show,
now.
and forget the employees, but they want him to pull the show now because his writers are doing such a good job.
Well, yeah, he revisited the Colbert Report last night. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and oh my goodness, didn't he just win an Emmy for that show?
Right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes, he did.
So crazy. But I just wanted to highlight some of the what we call Democratic veterans are saying about ABC, which they're talking about our Democratic leadership. So Obama, after years of complaining about cancel culture, exactly, the current administration has taken it to a new and dangerous level by routinely threatening regulatory action against media companies unless they muzzle or fire reporters and commentators that it doesn't like. Hillary, I think this is a very clear example of using the power of the state to suppress speech. It is a direct government action to try to intimidate employers, organizations, corporations, much of which we've already seen, to remove an opponent. And then, of course, Kamala chimed in, we cannot dare to be silent or complacent. Yes, ma'am. In the face of this frontal assault on free speech, we, the people, deserve better.
Yes.
And so if you haven't seen some of the other stories, it seems like if we follow the money, again, there's another merger on the table. So no surprise there.
My sister, she called me first thing this morning and said, Fox in California was sending out a survey if you agreed or not agreed to Jimmy Kimmel being, let go. And I'm like, Fox? Isn't that the same company? Why would Fox care? He didn't care. He doesn't care. Fox doesn't care. But she said this is a different Fox in California.
Well, you have to remember Fox and Fox News are not the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Fox.
Yeah, the Fox channel out here in California is, depending on where you are, it could be channel 2 or it could be a different channel, but it's not the same as the Fox News channel that you see, like Fox and Friends and all of that. It's different.
Okay, because I thought it was all Fox. Thank you. See, I'm not the only one that didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I do think they're owned by the same corporation, but they are separate.
Fox is Fox.
But they're separate. Yeah. Separate.
Yeah, it's that differentiation between local affiliates and the broader umbrella of the larger corporation.
They still work for Murdoch.
Yeah. Well, soon to be
Okay.
his sons, right? So let's who is Brendan Carr? Who is the FCC chair?
Ugh.
Okay. This is him.
Yeah.
Right? So when President Trump announced last fall that he would name Brendan Carr to be the nation's leading broadcast regulator, he called Carr a warrior of free speech.
I can't see
in
his
the 8 months since becoming chair of the Federal Communications Commission, however, Carr has waged war against the free speech of those who have reported on, criticized, or satirized the president. And Carr has the president's ear, according to a person who knows both men and requested anonymity because they did not have authorization to speak to the media. And this is where, if you saw this, I guess, on Air Force One, and I think I've seen some other clips where Trump is complaining that the broadcast networks were 97% against him. I agree.
So,
but I couldn't see his face.
So this is who we are dealing with, and I think
Mhm.
what people don't realize is he's part of the Heritage Foundation. I'm going to remove that.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. And let's see if I can. I just wanted to share. Remember that document called Project 2025? Yeah. Well, this is directly in connection with and in conjunction with Project 2025. So I'm not sure if I can share that or not. It's in a PDF. But I
was
can
gonna
try.
say, didn't he write the section on free speech in Project 2025 or something like that?
Well, basically, so I'm just going to read a piece of it because it's long. But of course, it's what they're saying is they want to go after the next conservative president must finally get done, meaning go after these broadcast networks who are, in their words, spreading the ideology of wokeness, right? So like the NPR, PBS, all of that. And so what he's saying is the next conservative president must finally get this done and do it despite opposition from congressional members of his own party if necessary. To stop public funding is good policy and good politics. The reason is simple. President Johnson may have pledged in 1967 that public broadcasting would become a vital public resource to enrich our homes, educate our families, and to provide assistance to our classrooms, which it has, right? But public broadcasting immediately became a liberal forum for public affairs and journalism. That's their beef. That's their whole beef with Project 2025.
Susie say Fox is Fox.
Well, Fox, yeah. So that's the big connection to Project 2025.
What I heard today? I heard when Don was talking to that representative, and she was saying we need to be on the defensive and work with Project 2029. That was today was the first time I ever heard of Project 2029.
I don't think it's an official thing. I just think it's like it's just basically the Dems trying to rewrite and try to fix whatever they're trying to break.
It's just something that they say.
Right.
It's not anything. Yeah, it's not anything they've been working on. Like they've been working on Project 2025 for decades.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, decades.
I thought maybe we had something, and it was some new news.
No.
Well, they're
you would think we've had plenty of time to prepare that kind of material, but
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that would be the whole. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I found this, which I thought was interesting. When the Smothers Brothers sent an apology to President Johnson for their satire, right? Their jokes. They were a great comedic brother. They were brothers. Johnson responded with this memorable quote. It is part of the price of leadership of this great and free nation to be the target of clever satirists. You have given the gift of laughter to our people. May we never grow so somber or self-important that we fail to appreciate the humor in our lives. And when I saw that, it's hard because I have to fact check everything these days. I don't trust what's out there, but I did fact check it, and it is on Snopes. He did actually say that. Now, was he mad initially? Yeah. I mean, they all are. None of the presidents want to be made fun of or laughed at or ridiculed. Nobody does. Does anybody here? I don't want that. Nobody wants to be humiliated. But I think
it's not a private. It's not a private club, because you work for the people, and so and every year they have the roast for the president, and he's not even man enough to even go through the roast, and that's it's just the humor, the satirists, they just making fun, and it was funny.
Yeah, just like Jen calls him a titty baby. That's what he is.
You have to have a sense of humor and laugh, right?
That's true. I mean, that's what gets us through the day, is us laughing.
Yeah,
so Donald Trump has never laughed, I think, a day of an.
He'd probably break.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen him laugh?
I know who laughed when she got in the bed with him. She laughed.
Oh, I don't know.
I just wanted to say, if you could dish it out, you better be able to take it.
Oh my God, Andrea, stop.
You've been on one lately.
I can't help it. I've been listening to his name too long today.
Okay. I'm going to show this last thing, and then I'm going to let Katie talk about Kimmel. But I found this, and it's like, yeah, have we ever? There is a reason there are no North Korean comedians.
Yeah.
Right? Think about it. Think about it, MAGA. Think about it. So this thing, we're heading down a very, very dangerous path here. But I want Katie to come in and give us a different perspective on the canceling of Jimmy Kimmel and that show, and even Colbert, because same thing applies to him, right? To any of these shows that get canceled. So Katie, go ahead and I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, so hello everyone. If anybody watched Don's show today, I kind of mentioned it on his show too, but I kind of exploded a little bit because after listening to him talk about Steve Bannon, I just got really mad. But something that people don't realize about the stuff with Kimmel and Colbert is they're not a one-man show. Jimmy Kimmel, like, those shows take hundreds of people to do the shows. There's musicians, there's writers, there's producers, there's set costumes, all of these behind the scenes things that go on in a show like that. And all those people are out of jobs too. And I'm so sick of these politicians trying to say, like, oh, we're owning the libs like Jimmy Kimmel. But what about all these people that they're not millionaires? And so I've read multiple articles that say, like, these people don't know what they're going to do. They need these jobs to take care of their families. And now they're literally just trying to figure it out. I'm sure Jimmy is helping them in some way, because I'm pretty sure he's a pretty generous guy that way. But, like, and that's going to happen with the Colbert show too once that goes off the air. Like, we know Stephen Colbert himself will be fine, but what about everybody else that works for them? Because it's like the hosts, they have money out the wazoo, but everybody else does not get paid very well, and, like, not as much as they do is what I mean. And I just know a lot of this because I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff with theater and being a musician. So it's really important how people are reacting to it. Kim, if you want to get up those photos that I sent you.
You want SAG-AFTRA first?
Yeah. So 3 major unions have spoken up about this. And the first one is SAG, the Screen Actors Guild. And they stand with Jimmy Kimmel, which is a huge one because, like, almost every actor is a part of this union. And that's a huge deal within itself. You could do the Writers Guild next. And then Another big one is the Writers Guild of America, which is, again, just saying the same thing. Like, we stand with Jimmy Kimmel. We stand for the right to free speech. And these are two big Hollywood, entities that are doing this. And then the last one that really got me was the American Federation of Musicians. And that's the third one that released a statement. And we have the
yeah, keep talking. I gotta pull these down.
And the thing that interests me about this one a little bit is it's not just the American Federation of Musicians from the United States, it's also Canada. And so Canada has also released statements saying that we stand with Jimmy, we stand with all those that are affected by this. And the fact that like 3 of the biggest unions in the country are literally speaking out about this is like that's huge. That's absolutely huge. And like SAG is not a small one. They just had a huge strike and it took them a long time to get their stuff. So they're in the thick of it. And it's important that these unions like this speak up, because like it's crazy. And I think I had that other photo with a couple of the different hosts. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
And just corporate media has failed us. Like the fact that Fox News guy is still just like, he did like the most half-ass apology, if you could even consider that, I've ever seen about what he said. And yet all of these people who are, well-known journalists and even like comedians, talk show hosts, they're just getting fired because they made the big man mad. And that's just, if that doesn't terrify you, it should.
Well, it was terrifying when that guy said that we should kill the homeless people. And nothing happened to him. He's still on TV saying stupid stuff.
Well, because he's on Fox News, and that's just the best one.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that. So he suggested killing mentally ill homeless people, right? Lethal injection. That's what he said, right? Lethal injection. I did see an apology come.
It was
okay.
That wasn't.
It's like
it was piss poor.
And I saw this on a friend's Facebook page about fascism, and I shared it with Kim so we could all just kind of look at it because it's just very accurate. Yeah. And I love that there's the "you are here," and I explained this somewhere else that it's like I think the "you are here" is just because we've just really hit 100% every other box, and it's terrifying. Between this and then you can like go online and see the Project 2025 tracker, which is already at 50%. So,
well, the military one happened first, didn't it?
I mean,
that back up.
Okay, so when I look at it, like
military society and
okay, so my thought is with the national
encourage violence.
When I think of the myth, I think of January 6th, like the election was stolen, and now they're just trying to take down, the CDC, Department of Ed, all of those.
Doge.
And then, yeah. So I think it's explanatory, but
yeah, I think the point is we're not 100% at a militarized society, not quite yet. Right?
And I guess I'm saying that's how it started at January 6th, that the clown was saying, I'm going to sit here and not even call the National Guard or nothing. He didn't call anybody. He just sat there and kept watching TV like we did. We kept watching. We was watching to see how long he would take.
Yeah. I think my main point of wanting to address this is like, they think that they're owning the libs by doing something like this for Jimmy Kimmel. And instead what they're doing is taking the money out of everyday people's pockets and having them lose their jobs for no reason. And while it's important to back Jimmy Kimmel, which literally almost everybody is, it's also important to recognize the people that make that show run and that they're being hurt and affected too.
He doesn't care.
I know.
He doesn't care, because if he cared, he would really rethink his position. He just wants to have the last word. And when Kimmel and Colbert got that award, that burned him like fire.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, Trump got an award. He got the award for being the worst president in history.
He may not care, but I think it's important for, you see on social media, people just dismissively be like, well, Jimmy will be fine. Jimmy's rich. It's not just about Jimmy.
Exactly.
Right.
So many different levels.
It's about
Exactly.
all, Julie. If you think
Well, they
about
want to go after The View too. I'm like, The View.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I pulled this too. I don't know, Katie. But he was asked to apologize.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
He has to apologize and donate to Turning Point. Which
if he won't, I don't think he will. But,
yeah, if I were that would be a big F you. There's no way.
There's no way he's gonna do it. There's no way.
What they call that when you asking people to pay money? What is it when they doing that?
Extortion.
Yeah, they doing extortion. He's extorting Kimmel now.
And
our president is well, what am I saying?
Well, he's a criminal. Why is anybody surprised when he does criminal things? He's a criminal.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
He's been like this his whole life.
He cheated in the 2020 election. Elon Musk said it. He said, you didn't get there by yourself.
Yeah.
And what was another thing? I don't know if you guys saw I think it was the House Dems today made a statement after they were with Alex Acosta, and just how they were in there for like an hour and they're just like, this is pointless. This guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not following laws. Like, they're just like, this is insane.
Do you think that every Christian that says they're a Christian should melt as soon as they say it? He said, I'm a Christian. He should just melt. This man is a 34. He has 34 convicted of 34 felonies. He sexually assaulted the woman. He's running around with pedophiles. Come on now. This is the president. I can't do nothing but laugh today. It's gotten funny.
You guys also see The Daily Show?
I didn't. I saw that portion of it though.
Yeah, that was hilarious and scary, but
Do you have that, Kim?
I don't with rights.
Huh?
Yeah, I didn't pull that.
It's also like a 20-minute thing.
Plus, it's also we get a huge copyright ding if we do anything from the Daily Show.
Yeah, so if you can check it out, because it's
yeah. Anything else, Katie, on that note?
I don't think so, just for now. But thanks for listening.
Absolutely, because
what my biggest concern is, because I was listening to something today and I thought it was just 15 million people that would not have health care January 1st, but they say it's going to be in the millions, people not having health care and people not having access to food. And we're in the richest country in the world, and 10 people want all the money. 10 people want all the money from all the Americans. Is shameful. What we're living through is shameful, and people need to get uncomfortable. They need to get uncomfortable because a lot of people got comfortable with us, after we went through the Civil War and stuff, and then color TV came out, and then you could go and talk and laugh and do whatever you want. And I think people are still just comfortable. They're just too comfortable.
Well, they're about to get uncomfortable real quick.
Yeah, I was not really a fan of how Fallon addressed it. I loved how Colbert did it. Right away, he came out and he was like, we are all Jimmy Kimmel. We stand with him. And Jimmy Fallon was just like, yeah, Kimmel's a nice guy, and then just moved on.
Oh, he don't know his name on the list?
Yeah,
Jimmy Fallon is the same person who had Trump on when he was running for president and tousled his hair like he was just some harmless kid.
Yeah. Fallon's more about the money.
Maybe I saw something different. I actually saw Fallon go through a monologue about it.
Oh, you did?
He did it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take a look at Fallon again, his monologue, and you'll see.
Well, I saw the part of the monologue where he they did like a thing where he would talk and then there would be other stuff over him. Is that what you're talking about?
You know, I've seen his monologue just talk about him and make jokes just like Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert.
Well, no, I know before that, before the Jimmy Kimmel stuff. I think I was saying that he's not really
before the Jimmy Kimmel stuff also.
Yeah. What I was saying was his monologue didn't really address, like it kind of did, but not as much as like say Colbert or The Daily Show did. I think that's what I was trying to say.
I didn't hear that.
Okay, so
maybe I'm wrong. I apologize if I'm wrong.
Let's wrap up this segment with Mo. You wanted to talk a little bit more about this Fox host, and I have that little clip. Hopefully we can hear the sound.
I do not hear any sound.
No. You can't hear the sound?
No.
Okay. Yeah, if it's not in like in YouTube or something, for some reason StreamYard doesn't know what to do with it. Let me see. Let me try one more thing, but you can talk about it while I try to pull
Yeah, I think most people have probably heard the clip by now, where I don't know what was going through that man's mind when he said what he said, but essentially what he said was, oh yeah, like we could give them involuntary lethal injections, just kill them. He actually said that. And I just mind
you keep freezing.
Exploded.
Y'all notice that this your second time freezing.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, you froze, not freezing cold, but you froze. Your picture frame froze a second time.
It was very brief. I what I was shocked by is his coworkers didn't even bat an eyelash.
But she shouldn't be freezing.
It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah. It's fine.
Okay. It's supposed to be a show.
Okay, we'll take that offline. Go ahead, Keisha.
Back to Mo.
Okay.
Yeah, well, what I wanted to say really is like the hypocrisy, right, of the whole free speech thing. He still has a job. He read through an apology. He looked like he was a hostage, reading a note, involuntarily. So I don't put much weight on that apology. But the fact that these people are so disconnected with reality that they can see visually, they can hear with their own ears things that are being said, and they still get out here with the talking points about how everything, all the violence and the rhetoric is coming from the left. Now, I'll say this ahead of time. There has been no official connection with what he said and some of the violence that has been perpetrated on homeless people lately. There's no connection, but I find that it's really coincidental that there's been such an uptick in violence against the homeless since those words were spoken. And I can't help but think about the dog whistles and the siren calls to action, that they don't actually tell you to go out and do something, but if they just say one thing, these people take it as a call to action, and then they go out and they start perpetrating violence on people. Does he not realize that there's more than just mentally ill homeless people on the street? There are veterans on the street. There are families on the street that can't afford their rent. So are we supposed to just euthanize everybody that doesn't have a home?
Well, they're already doing that, right? They've criminalized homelessness.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, they have.
But they haven't built affordable housing.
Right. They don't want to. I don't know if you guys saw the Jolly Good Ginger. He had this on his show, where basically they are parroting Project 2025 and Trump. Like, it's really scary. And it mimics or it echoes World War II, Nazi Germany. Right?
The whole call to rat out your co-workers. That's what they were asking Germans to do. You know, tell on your neighbors. Tell us where the Jews are hiding, right? It's the same thing. I don't understand how people don't see the parallels. I don't understand it.
I don't either. I happen to be watching a depressing PBS movie that I've seen before, but I decided to watch it again. The World's on Fire. About English families and the French and during Nazi Germany. And I mean, I'm sure you've all seen movies. I don't get it either, Mama. Why does our population not understand that we're really close to Nazism? We are. This is exactly what Hitler did. Perpetuated all these lies during a time that Germany's economy was down really low. And making promises. And on the other side of it, he was alienating lots of groups of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it depends on generations who didn't attend history class or skipped history class, and people are getting all their information from social media. So, I mean, it's really sad.
They're depending on the ignorance of the populace.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They say we're one paycheck away from homelessness.
Yeah.
A lot of people are. And it's we're going to see more homelessness, I'm afraid. Okay. So anything else on this topic? Let's wrap it up and move on to Keisha's topic. Anything else? All right, Keisha, it's all yours.
Oops.
Oh no.
She froze. She's going to come back.
We've been.
Yeah. It happens. It happens to the best shows. It happens. It's all about Wi-Fi. It's all about Wi-Fi.
It's Starlink. It's Starlink.
They watching us.
So just
cut us off.
For just another comparison that has been scaring people from Germany to now is I had seen this article that said we must not let the shooting of Charlie Kirk become Trump's Reichstag fire, because that's what Hitler used to really get more into power into Nazi Germany. Yes. And what scares me is them literally just trying to make Charlie Kirk a martyr. I mean, I was on Don's show today. He showed a Catholic cardinal saying he's like a saint or something. And I literally wanted to vomit.
Oh, me too.
I can't wait to hear the Pope's reaction to that fool.
Yeah.
I said the same thing, Mo. I said the same thing. Yeah.
I was raised, I'm, a lot of us are not non-Catholics now, but I abhorred that. That was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen come out of the Catholic Church. In some other situations, believe me, I know it. But that was terrible.
And
that's horrible.
Yeah,
I do love the fact of the Pope speaking out so much. He has been very vocal, and that's been very good.
I agree. While we're waiting for Keisha, Maureen, do you want to go ahead and talk about your
Sure.
topic?
Yeah, it's about COVID, but it's our great situation with the CDC right now. This affects all of us. But it affects people that are one paycheck away from, as you said, homelessness. Their health care, Medicaid, is going down the tubes. So yeah, if you could put that article up. And this just happened today. It's very fluid right now. But a lot of people, even people in my family, are so confused by the CDC panel and the COVID vaccine. And now they're saying it's your personal choice. Just a few days ago, they were controlling it being your personal choice, saying you had to go to the doctor, right, to get them to give you a prescription to your drugstore. So anyway, I'm just going to read this. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's Vaccine Advisory Committee on Friday voted to abandon its recommendation for the COVID-19 vaccine, with the committee unanimously voting to recommend that Americans get the shot. Based on, and this will be based on individual decision making, meaning it's a personal choice. Well, it should have always been a personal choice. But it goes on to say it's unclear, though, what implications the vote will have for insurance coverage for Americans who want to receive a COVID-19 vaccine. Many major insurers have said they would continue to cover the cost of the vaccines through at least 2026, no matter how this committee voted this week. And then in a separate vote, members decided not to require a prescription for the COVID-19 vaccine, with many members saying this would create unnecessary barriers. Why didn't they realize that before? Is beyond me. And in another separate vote, members voted that CDC communicate clear risks about COVID-19 vaccines, materials that states can choose to give to patients when they get vaccinated. The votes follow the FDA's recent narrowing of COVID-19 vaccine approvals to a smaller group of Americans, those that are over 45 or with underlying medical conditions. Now, on Thursday, the group voted narrowly resisting recommendations for the combined MMRV shot, which is very important, that protects against measles, mumps, rubella, and chickenpox. Then, earlier Friday, the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, called ACIP, indefinitely postponed planned vote on whether to stop recommending the hepatitis B vaccine for newborns. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I think you're getting the idea here. They keep on going back and forth. And this is important for our children's health. It's the whole population. And they just keep on going back and forth. And I just have something I want to share. This isn't about COVID. I happened to see this on one of my California sites, and they're talking. The site is called Cal Matters, and they're talking about rural hospitals. And I think some of you have brought this up. But even in California, some rural hospitals are in danger of being closed down. They're not getting the federal. There's already been cuts in that area, and labor and supplies are more expensive. And I won't go through this whole article that I have, but it just continues on with our healthcare and the CDC, and we understand who's causing all that. I don't even think I have to mention his name, but I will. It's crazy. This man is not a doctor. He's not a scientist. They're pulling money for research to save people's lives. It just goes along with everything else we're talking about today.
So
screw everybody,
So something I've seen recently, to go off of when you were talking about vaccines, and thank you, Maureen, for all of that. There's two different alliances or coalitions that are starting in the States to not listen to the CDC. And one of them is the West Coast Health Alliance, which is California, Oregon, and Washington are getting together and doing their own Hawaii. Okay. And then the other one is the Northeast, the Northeast Health Collective or something. And it is...
Can we see my graphic, Kim?
And then
Keisha's going to go into all that, I think.
Okay, sorry.
Keish? No, that's okay. It's a great topic, but great segue. It was better maybe that Maureen went first, right?
Yeah.
So which you want to... Let's go ahead and go to Keisha. Do you want to introduce that first?
So I want to talk about secession because
I'm sorry, that makes me giddy. Just the thought.
About the show Secession?
No. Secession.
Secession.
Oh, okay.
Because the last 2 weeks have been exhausting and scary. The whole year has been exhausting and scary, but the last 2 weeks just ratcheted it up. And we have never been more divided as a country. I think the last time I thought of us as a united country was in the days following 9/11.
Yeah.
And that was 25 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Or 24 years ago. Half these states are a danger to the rest of us. And I'm sick of it. It's either like I need to leave this country or we need to break up. So Maureen's topic is a great segue into this chart that I want to show. And Katie brought it up about these health alliances in response to this CDC nonsense. So I saw this map, saw the yellow highlight on the left on the West Coast and the blue highlight on the East Coast. And I'm like, this looks like a divided country. We have formed coalitions to take care of the health of the residents of these states, because our government is putting us in danger. It's like, why don't we just make this permanent? Maybe add a few more to each of these coalitions and start our own countries. I mean, I would love to merge the West Coast and the East Coast and have just one big country, but that's a whole separate topic. Kim, if you could pull up the poll. So there's
this one?
Yeah, there's a poll from 2024, and I would be really curious to see how the numbers would be today. But a poll from 2024, how many Americans want their states to secede? And you can see the dark orange colors are the states where the residents are more pro than others. And they tend to be on the East Coast, the West Coast, and then Texas, which has always thought of itself as its own country. And Alaska was the state where the most residents wanted to secede. They just want out.
Blame them.
They're like Canada, please.
Well, I hope so, because their other choice isn't that great.
So I'm curious if I could see a show of hands, how many people would be willing to consider the idea of seceding from?
My son already preparing it.
It's not that I don't think that's a good idea at times. I would hope. I always keep this positive attitude, and maybe that's crazy, but
no, it's not.
I don't know.
Let's say it if things continued to get worse. If things continue to get worse.
Yeah, I have no doubt. I'm sure people will move out to Europe. I'm sure people will try
going to Africa, to my homeland.
Yeah.
I love you for that, Maureen, but I, for one, have an exit plan.
We do too.
Because I have an autistic son, and as soon as that fool got up there talking about lists and the way he disparaged autistic people, I was like, I gotta know I can get out of here. So I do have an exit plan. I owe no allegiance to this land. I owe allegiance to the promise of our country. And no matter where I am, I would continue to fight for this country. And I would never give up my citizenship to this country. But I am not willing to put my son at risk for this country. I'm just willing to put myself at risk for this country, but not my son.
Yeah, I get you. And Jazzy, I think you're right. She says she's half and half on it, honestly, because I'd be very worried for the children of MAGA adults. I don't want kids to be stuck in the middle of this, and I agree.
I worry about that because there are all these MAGA adults, and some of them have kids, and these kids are very impressionable.
So when I was young, I thought that the racism would end, and and after the grandparents and stuff all died off, I thought this would just okay. It's gotten worse.
Well, believe it or not, Andrea, it hasn't been that long. I think the year 2000, the last person that was actually a slave died. And I think not a slave, but a direct descendant of a slave. That it hasn't been that long. It really hasn't been that long.
I just thought that the white racist grandparents and stuff would die off and wouldn't pass on that legacy of always, this is how you got to treat Black people or Mexicans or Asians. I thought they would die off and stop teaching their kids to be so hateful.
It's generational.
I don't know what I was thinking.
It would take a very strong person to break out of that. It's generational. They pass it down.
Yeah.
And they don't, it takes a very, very strong person to go against their family in a sense, because they pass that hatred down and it just keeps going.
And that's what I finally realized. I said, oh, just like we taught our kids, you got to keep your hands on the steering wheel and don't reach for your ID in the glove compartment, because I didn't see on TV. I saw him and he got shot in the head. All he was doing was reaching for his.
That comment right there, that was my husband. I left New Orleans at a very young age. I still consider myself a New Orleans girl, though. It's like if you're born in New Orleans, it stays in your blood. But my husband was there during the time when David Duke, who was a Klansman, was running for office. And there were some, people had the David Duke signs and everything. And like he said, he almost won. In the state of Louisiana. So it's just it's a malignant hatred. And I don't know what it's going to take for us to break out of that. But the first thing that we have to do is we have to address it. We have to acknowledge it. We can't run from it.
No. Yeah, my family is from Louisiana, and my grandfather left Louisiana because of the KKK. He had a run-in one night that came really close, and he just packed up his family, and they came to California.
And that kind of the hatred and the vitriol are very recent. My husband was called a wigger, right? But
I remember being in Stone Mountain in Atlanta, my husband and I went to a lot of conferences and did business there. And then I started hearing the stories and being there. And I said, I don't want to come here anymore.
No.
And it looks innocent, right? Until you start talking to people and hear the truth. And it still exists. And they have things there.
My husband and I climbed to the top. And that was before we knew the history of it. We climbed to the top. And,
we left Alabama, and a lot of people in Alabama went to Chicago and New York and Indiana. But those Indiana and Ohio, the places are still very racist.
Yeah.
That's when I walk down the street and get called the N-word.
Yeah, when I was in Texas, I was shocked. Like I was in Austin, Texas. But as soon as you leave, there were a lot of Confederate flags around.
That's right.
That's scary.
I'm an hour out of Austin.
Go Keisha. Go Keisha.
Go Keisha.
One more time.
Oh, okay.
I lived in Stone Mountain as a kid, and I didn't know anything about the history, but I felt something weird in the air. And then when I found out it used to be KKK headquarters, everything made sense. That place is scary.
Where did you say you were from?
I'm not from there, but I was talking about Stone Mountain.
Okay.
I agree. It's a strange feeling. It's all
it is.
When you are faced with it. I wasn't faced with it, but hearing the story and seeing what was going on. And
So I know we're about to wrap up this segment. I wanted to talk about whether or not secession is actually even possible. So I have one last slide. So Justice Scalia said that we probably can't secede. But what we can do is begin the process of seeking a mutually agreed upon parting of the ways. And that process does actually exist. This is something the Supreme Court decided in 1868. And skipping down to the last highlighted paragraph, that ruling did suggest another way a state might succeed is through revolution.
I'm down.
Obvious. But if civil unrest becomes extreme and the state and the nation simply agree to part ways to minimize the damage, secession is possible.
I would love for California to become part of Mexico again. I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah,
in Texas, yeah. But Abbott, he loves Donald Trump.
Come on over to California, Andrea.
I know. I lived there 5 times. Like, they got to lower the rent for me to come over there.
It is expensive.
Yeah, it is expensive. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, you're lucky if you've been you've been here for a long time in California. I'll give you a California story about my husband and I buying a home here in the Bay Area, and we got it for $250,000, and we thought that was hard then. Seriously. But I agree. I don't know how people do it, and younger people. It's truly amazing.
I tried to live there I've been there 5 times. I said it's cheaper to buy an airplane ticket and go and come back than to stay there. So that's what I do now. I just go and visit and leave.
So you found a way. Okay.
Found a way. Because the weather is gorgeous at night. The wind calms down and it's so peaceful.
You see what my husband said, Andrea? We got a room for you. We got a room for you, Mama. Come on over.
He's so nice.
That's so cute. All right. Anything else on the great segment? Something to think about.
Well, didn't Marjorie Taylor Greene say something like that? Like a amicable divorce or something like that? Marjorie Taylor Greene
okay with it. Megan.
What they call it? No fault divorce.
Yeah. No fault.
Fair.
There's not going to be anything agreeable because they're not going to let go of the money of California.
No way. No way. No way. Yeah. No way.
Yeah. We got enough. So before we go to Andrea's last, I think, parting words, I just want to throw up a little bit of a WTF.
Here we go.
Because I was shocked when I actually saw this.
Oh, yep.
Oh, yeah.
See that?
Don made us listen to that man.
Oh, yeah. He did?
Yes, he did.
I didn't want to listen to it, so I fact checked it, and then I just put this up.
What a world we live in now.
So I went, that's crazy. But here's a wonderful truth that I found, and I love this.
Oh, I love that. Oh, my gosh.
Did you see the way she shut Kash Patel down? Said that wasn't a question. Like,
oh my gosh,
I didn't ask you a question.
Between watching her, Eric Swalwell, and Adam Schiff just go at him. Oh, I needed that serotonin boost.
Yeah, Swalwell was good this week, wasn't he?
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of our California representatives right now.
Yes,
I really am.
And all he did was prove how stupid he really was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That man looks crazy.
He does, actually.
Swalwell had a Jimmy Kimmel hat, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I love the way he slowed it down. Did you?
You know, I don't understand. Like, do these cabinet people, like, do they think they're coming off as like big strong men? That they're just like arguing back with these people in the Senate and Congress? Like, do they think that it's showing their masculinity?
No, it's all performative, Katie. They're performing for Donald Trump. That's all.
They're doing a good job for Daddy.
Keisha, I feel
sorry,
you.
Keisha.
I have John.
I don't know how to stay on your subject. I'm sorry, Katie.
Keisha, I have John Fetterman, so I feel you.
Oh,
yeah.
What happened to him?
Oh,
Yeah.
so sorry. So
Yeah,
sorry.
all them strongly worded letters, Keisha.
At least Chuck Schumer can wear a suit.
I know, you're right.
Oh.
Why do you think Fetterman changed parties? Why do you think he changed so drastically?
Fetterman has
he got hit in the head.
Issues.
He had a
He
stroke.
one of them ones that Fox say we should shoot him or inject him.
No, he's
that was a joke. That was a joke.
But he's not homeless. He's got a roof. He's got a roof over his head. Yeah, he's not homeless yet.
We do not condone violence or blah 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 blah.
We do not. We do not. We do not.
So,
We do not condone violence. No.
all right. So, Miss Andrea.
Yeah, are you gonna post mine?
I'm gonna post your
I'm just gonna
pic
read
here.
it.
All right.
Okay. You know, when I read this and I said, oh, it's his philosophy feels, in the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Martin Luther King Jr. I just find the silence of so many people is deafening. I even heard an analogy today that actually it was more than 90 million people that didn't vote.
So,
we had a lot of people that didn't vote.
That's a WTF for today.
Oh man.
There were a lot of those that the vote was suppressed. So until they figure that out, we had a lot of that. And then people are not talking about that. That has to be fixed.
My husband was actually purged from the rolls before the last election. We had to re-register him before the last election, and so I just almost compulsively, on a weekly basis, I check our statuses, and we're both still active. But that scared us both, because I got my ballot in the mail and he hadn't gotten his. And so I went on and it showed that he wasn't registered. And I was like, what the heck? Yeah. I'd heard about people being purged from the rolls, but for that to hit so close to home.
What's interesting is my husband has been passed away 3 years ago. I still get ballots for him.
Get out.
No, it's true.
And what they did to me,
I don't do anything wrong with it, but yeah.
Internal Revenue sent me a letter for me to verify I wasn't deceased. And until I finally, this is just going on. This is going on now. And until I verified that I was not deceased, because I was like, I take that check. You send the check every month. But they actually sent me the letter, are you deceased?
Wow. Okay, well, if you are deceased,
I had to prove it. I don't know what but I'm going through that right now.
Well, if you're deceased, you're a very chatty ghost. I'll say that.
Funny too.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. All right, everybody, we are at 5:43. Let's do a round robin. Any last words for today and for the weekend? Let's start with Katie.
Oh, okay. If you see or hear any bullshit about the free speech stuff, call it out. We got to start calling this stuff out, or we're never going to get anywhere. Absolutely. And there are still people who are willing to listen. There are still people who don't have ideas of what's going on. So if they ask you questions, try to be kind and respectful, and also let them know, because there are still some receptive people out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot more than we think. Right? So they're there. We have a lot of us. Thank you, Katie. Maureen?
No parting words. I just want to say to Momo, your son who has autism, I do have a little nephew who's 5, and it is terrifying right now. I know they're already cutting certain programs on that. Yeah. We've got to fight all that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Maureen. Keisha?
All I gotta say is I'm ready for the divorce. Let's shut up.
Keisha filed the papers.
Filed the papers.
She's already taken the ring off. So filed the papers. That's good. Thanks. Mo?
Well, I just have to say, chin up to everybody. I know this is tough. This has been a really dark week and a half.
Oh.
Everything that has happened has just brought everything to like, wow, this is really happening to our country, but like I've said before, everybody has to choose what they're willing individually to sacrifice and to go out there and fight however you can. And like Keisha, I'm ready for the divorce. I'm ready. It's just too bad we can't merge New York and California. Like, can we just like scoop up?
Well, maybe
it over here.
Canada could adopt all of us.
Yeah, I love that little Canada map, That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I love that. Thanks, Mo. Marley?
I just want to say, everybody stay strong, keep resisting, and be peaceful.
Yes, 100%. Andrea?
The midterms are coming up, and my suggestion is you see if somebody will let you use some paper and a copying machine and go to the local grocery store and send flyers that their vote does count. We need them.
Yes. Yes on 50. California. Yes on 50.
Yes on 50.
Yes on 50.
Got it. All right. And August.
Hey, if you have a job, you're blessed. If you don't have a job, we have to be a blessing to you. Stay strong and communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for me, we have to just unplug every now and then.
Yes.
Unplug. I know Don says turn the TV off. I think ours is unplug.
Hey guys. You have to unplug. By the way, if anybody liked it or didn't see it, the new Superman dropped.
Hi, Alex.
Ooh.
The new Superman dropped. It's streaming now. So
And that's the one that works for ICE now?
No, he got hurt.
I don't even count him as Superman. That was a show that I never even watched. I'm talking about the movie. The new Superman movie that all the MAGA was going crazy over, talking about they made Superman woke.
You had to be
woke. Go see a movie. Yep. Go see a movie.
Go see a movie. Yep.
All right, you guys.
Have a good weekend.
Go ahead.
No,
what else?
Grandbaby. How's your
grandbaby?
Oh,
she's great. We're going to see her tomorrow. She's beautiful. I'll fill you guys in after the show.
Your grandbaby was born?
Yeah.
Oh, why did I not know that?
I'll share pictures.
Okay.
I'll share pictures afterwards. We love you guys. Thanks for joining us. Hit the like and subscribe, please, and share the video. And come back and see us next week. And stay strong. We have to have hope, otherwise we live in despair. We cannot live in despair.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We love you.
We the people unite.